Speaking of which, Michael Vick, maybe 2 coaching opportunities. Good idea, bad idea. I don't know how much coaching experience he has. One is Norfolk State. Now, he was obviously very big-time athlete in Newport News, Virginia, that area, and Sacramento State. Sac State wants to get into the Pac-12, and they've been a successful smaller school. What is that, FBS?
FBS, yep.
FBS. And, they want to up the ante. They want to get into the Pac-12, the new and improved Pac-12. And Michael Vick, I don't know if there's any ties to Michael Vick with Sacramento. We certainly know with Norfolk. But I could see that happening. I could see, and you're starting to see this, Eddie George is coaching in college. Deion, of course, took a college job. Ed Reed almost took a college job. And these are smaller schools, historically black colleges and universities, giving them an opportunity. But Norfolk State with Michael Vick, I don't know, what is any coaching experience, maybe high school, but I don't know. But see, everybody wants to get the Deion Sanders effect. That's what North Carolina is hoping for Bill Belichick. You got your Deion. Well, no, there's only one Deion. You can have Eddie George. Eddie George, a wonderful guy. He's not Deion. Ed Reed, he's not Deion. Michael Vick, not Deion. You got to have personality. And he has more than enough. But he has been in our world, in our life, for 30 years. We've seen Prime. We've seen all of this. Good, bad, great. Took the job at Jackson State. Everybody's like, what? What are you doing there? He was just there just to get people's attention. And then Florida State didn't hire him. Travis Hunter was going to go to Florida State. Deion's like, hey, I'm bringing my boys, and why don't you come with me? We're going to Colorado. And I think even Travis Hunter's like, damn, it's cold there. And Shador's like, no, we'll heat it up. End up winning the Heisman. They had a great year, almost qualified for the college football playoffs. But if you think you're getting Deion Sanders, think again. There's one guy. That's it. But if I'm Sacramento State, all right, you got people's attention with Mike. Norfolk, I get that one, just, geographically. But trying to get a coach that kids are going to want to play for, that they know who he is, and, Mike's kind of reserved. He's shy, almost. Now, he wasn't when he was on the field. That was his personality. If you're recruiting, like this is the knock on Belichick. Can he relate to these players? His personality, how's that going to come across? I don't know how Michael Vick will be in the room with, these parents, Zoom calls, kids want to be a dual threat, quarterback. I don't know. I don't have any idea what Norfolk State football program has been like the last 10 years, 5 years. I know Sacramento State has played playoff games, FBS. Yes, Marvin.
Does every single college coach need to be charismatic?
I think if you're trying to get Deion effect, then, like, if I'm hiring you, what am I hiring you to do? Like, I need you to go in there and you're the face. So being the face, you got to be out in front. You got to be recruiting. You got to, when you're at the press conference, when you're being interviewed, you're there all the time. You're out front. And this is what Belichick's going to have to do. Hey, we need you to go to the basketball game. Hey, we got a booster meeting here. Hey, we have this, we have that. That's what college is. Now, you can delegate to a certain degree, but if you're going to be that focal point, that figurehead, we want to see you. Then it comes down to, I know Belichick can coach. Belichick gives you an advantage over every coach in America because he's a better coach than any coach in America. So you always have an advantage going into a game. I don't know. Now, if Michael Vick was a player coach, then that might be a little more interesting for me. But good. If he gets an opportunity. Look, I've spent time with Mike. I've mentioned this before. We know what he did with dogfighting. Everybody knows that. He went to prison. He paid a price. He went to hardcore prison. And when he got out, Tony Dungy took him under his wing and said, look, I want to help you. And one of the things he did, he said, I want you to go and talk to these kids at a prison outside of Tampa. And Tony asked me, Tony had done me a favor, and he said, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to come down here with me, with Mike. And I got to see Mike in a prison yard, and I'm guessing 95% were African-American, and probably 95% were under 25 years of age. But they listened to him. When he spoke, they listened. And he went around. There were guys who were in their jail cells who weren't allowed out in the yard. That they had done something where they were on lockdown. Mike went in and walked around and talked to everybody who was there in their jail cell through the bars and spoke to them. And you could see the reaction from these kids. And they were kids, 25 and under, it felt like. And Tony Dungy wanted Michael to kind of share his experience. He had been in prison. And I do root for him. I like Mike. Did he make a terrible mistake? Yes, he did. Yes. I went to dinner with him, with Tony Dungy one night in Tampa. And, he was very reserved, very quiet, and probably not trusting of me because I was a member of the media. But, I could tell where he just looked around the whole night. We were in a booth, and I think it was Leroy Selman's restaurant. And he just looking around constantly because people would walk by, and he didn't know how they were going to react to him. But, we've had him on subsequently, and we've talked football, and, he knows what happened, and, he couldn't even have a dog and wanted to have a dog for his kids. And, so there's a lot tied up in all of that. And I don't know, it sounds like, these universities may be past that and giving him an opportunity to coach. So maybe he can walk in and, he doesn't have the same impact that Deion had, but nobody does. But maybe they'll listen to him. Maybe you can recruit. Maybe he can build something there at Norfolk State or Sacramento State. Yes, Mark.
Because maybe sometimes the name is enough. If you're a quarterback and you're the parents, so the parents might be more geeked to meet Michael Vick than it's almost like the Deion Sanders thing. Like, they don't know Deion as a player, but their parents love him. So if my kid was 20 and Michael Vick walked in, I'd be super excited, no matter how charismatic he might or might not be. Just the name alone rings bells to where, you know what, let's give Sacramento State a shot.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Paul.
I'm reading the Sacramento Bee this morning, and the reporter said it's premature to say Michael Vick is the next coach. They're talking to a number of coaches, and his name leaked out.
Well, the Norfolk State thing, that's real. And I get that.